I'm 88 years old today. I've outlived my husband. I've outlived my sister. And Lord knows I've outlived the woman I was when I was 60. I sit here in this chair looking out at a world that moves faster than a heartbeat. And I see you. I see you sitting in a house that feels a little too big now. I see you looking at the phone, waiting for it to ring. I see you wondering if this quiet is all there is left. They tell you that living alone is freedom, or they tell you it's a tragedy, but they don't tell you the work it takes to make it a sanctuary. I've been on this earth almost 9 decades. I've seen people wither away in a house full of family, and I've seen people bloom like wild roses while living entirely on their own. The difference isn't luck, it's choices, hard choices. If you are over 60 and you are living alone, or you're about to be, you don't have time to figure this out by trial and error. You don't have time to waste years being miserable just to learn a lesson. So, pull up a chair. Let me tell you the 5 things you absolutely must do if you want to live alone without dying inside. Number 1, and this is the hardest one, so I'm putting it first. You must make peace with the person in the mirror. That sounds like a greeting card, doesn't it? But listen to me. When the noise of the house dies down, when the kids are gone and the partner is gone, there is only one person left in that room. You. If you don't like that person, you are in for a very long, very hard ending. I knew a man named William. He spent 50 years chasing everything outside of himself. He wanted the titles, the big corner office, the respect. He told me once that he climbed all the way to the top of the mountain, looked around, and realized there was nothing there. He spent decades trying to earn the feeling of being enough. But you can't get that feeling from a paycheck or a house or a husband. When you live alone, you cannot run from yourself anymore. There are no distractions. You have to decide right now that you are enough. Not because of what you did for a living, not because of who you married, but just because you are here breathing God's air. My friend Peggy, she's 91 now. She's lived alone for 15 years. She told me the secret is understanding that alone and lonely are not the same thing. You can be lonely in a room full of people who don't understand you, but you can be alone and completely content if you enjoy your own company. If you are sitting there miserable, asking, why doesn't anyone call me? I want you to flip that script. Ask yourself, is my company so bad that I can't stand it myself? Learn to like your tea in the morning. Learn to like your own thoughts. If you can't stand being with you, why should anyone else? It starts inside. Number 2, you must build a routine. And you must treat your body like it is the only vehicle you have, because it is. When you live with other people, the day has a shape. You eat because they're hungry. You wake up because they're making noise. When you're alone, the days can blur together until you don't know if it's Tuesday or Saturday. That blur is dangerous. You need a ritual. For Peggy, it's 7 a.m. tea. Same cup, same chair, watching the birds for 20 minutes. It sounds small, but it tells your brain, today is a real day. I am alive. And while you are building that routine, you have to move. I know your back hurts. I know your knees creak. I'm 88. Trust me, I know. But my friend Lorraine, she's 92. She warned me about this. She said your 60s are not the time to rest. They are the last chance you have to build the strength you will need for your 80s. Lorraine said she took walking for granted until one day walking a mile became an impossibility. She said, if you are 62 and you can still walk 3 miles, walk 3 miles every day, because the muscle you lose after 60 is almost impossible to get back. When you live alone, nobody is there to pull you off the floor if you fall. Nobody is there to open the jar for you. Your independence depends entirely on your physical strength. Do not let yourself rot in that recliner. If you stop moving, you stop living. It is that simple. Number 3, this one might hurt some feelings, but I'm too old to lie to you. You must curate your circle and cut off the energy vampires. We are raised to be polite, especially us women. We are raised to nurture, to listen, to be the soft place for everyone to land. But honey, when you are past 60, your energy is a finite resource. It is like money in the bank, and you cannot afford to spend it on people who do not deposit anything back. I had a friend, Lillian, who put it best. She said, stop tolerating the vampire. You know who I mean. The friend who only calls when they have a crisis. The neighbor who talks at you for an hour and never asks how you are. The family member who leaves you feeling exhausted every time you hang up the phone. Lillian said that after 50, you realize you just can't afford them anymore. It's not about being mean. It's about survival. Every hour you spend listening to someone complain is an hour you aren't spending with someone who makes you laugh, or an hour you aren't spending in the peaceful silence you earned. And listen to me closely on this. You need to make new friends. I know you have your friends from high school. You have the Tuesday girls. But let me tell you what happened to Lorraine. She had 4 best friends. They did everything together for 40 years. She thought they'd be there forever. But Barbara died, then Eline, then Margaret. Now Lorraine is the only one left. The loneliness of outliving everyone who knew you when you were young is a heavy, heavy thing. You have to cast a wide net. Make friends with younger people. Make friends with the lady at the library. If you don't, you risk ending up in a silence so deep it will drown you. Number 4, you must stop waiting for the special occasion. Oh, this one breaks my heart. I see so many of you treating your life like a waiting room, waiting for the grandkids to visit to cook the good meal, waiting to lose 10 pounds to buy the nice dress, waiting for some day to take the trip. I want to tell you about a man named Jack. My friend knew him back in the 60s. Jack was a shark, successful, rich, handsome. He always said 5 more years. He had a strategy. He'd grind for 5 years, hit his number, and then he'd take his wife to Italy and learn to paint. That was the plan. Jack walked out of his office 3 days later, grabbed his chest, and hit the sidewalk. Massive heart attack at 42. He never saw Italy. He never painted a damn thing. The tragedy wasn't that he died. We all die. The tragedy was that he spent his whole life waiting to live. Peter, another man I know, he lost his wife Susan to cancer, and for years she had begged him to take her to Scotland. She wanted to see where her grandmother was from. And Peter always said, too expensive, not a good time, maybe when we retire. When she was dying, she looked at him with this sad resignation. She never got to Scotland, and Peter has to live with that every single day. He realized too late that later is a lie. There is no later. There is only now. If you live alone, you are the boss of the schedule. Eat the good food on a Tuesday. Use the fine china for a frozen pizza if you want to. Buy the plane ticket. Go see the ocean. Do not leave this world with a bank account full of money and a heart full of I wish I hads. The clock is ticking, baby. Can you hear it? Number 5. You must find something that needs you. This is the secret to getting out of bed on the days when the arthritis is flaring and the rain is coming down. You need a purpose, and it doesn't have to be a big, world-changing purpose. It doesn't have to be a career. For Peggy, it's her cat, Mildred. Mildred expects breakfast at 7:15 a.m. exactly, and if she doesn't get it, she screams. It sounds silly, but that cat gives Peggy a reason to put her feet on the floor. It could be a garden that needs watering. It could be the wild birds you feed. It could be volunteering at the hospital. You need to be needed. When we retire, when the nest empties, we lose our utility. We feel like we're just taking up space. You have to create your own utility. And let me add this. Part of finding what needs you is realizing what doesn't need you. Your adult children, they don't need your advice anymore. I know you have wisdom. I know you want to fix their lives. But Lorraine, she was a guidance counselor for 38 years, and she learned the hard way that her adult kids didn't want her wisdom. They wanted her presence. They want you to love them, not fix them. So find something that genuinely depends on you. A dog, a cause, a creative project. Something that proves you are still part of the fabric of this world. I want to leave you with one last thought. A little mental trick that might change how you see your days. It's something the Stoics used to do, but my friend Frank explained it best. It's called the last time. Every time you do something, anything, remind yourself that one day you will do it for the last time. One day you will put the key in your front door for the last time. One day you will hear your daughter's voice for the last time. One day you will drink a cup of coffee for the last time. You don't know when that day is. It could be 10 years from now. It could be next Tuesday. When you live alone, it is so easy to sleepwalk through life, to numb yourself with the television, to let the days slip by like sand. But if you live with the knowledge that this could be the last time, you will never take a moment for granted again. You will taste that coffee. You will feel the warmth of the sun through the window. You are 60, 70, 80 years old. You have survived heartbreaks, losses, jobs, and illnesses. You are still here. That is a victory, not a sentence. So look at your empty house. Fill it with your routine. Fill it with the people you actually like. Fill it with good food and plans for next week. And most of all, fill it with a love for yourself that is so strong it keeps you warm at night. Don't just exist. Don't be like Jack, waiting for a future that never comes. Live right now. If you're sitting there nodding your head, if you feel this in your bones, do me a favor. Subscribe to this channel. We're going to talk about the things nobody else wants to talk about, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. I'm tired now. I'm going to go make my tea. Go live your life.